Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Craft Eccentricity, and I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday and whatever else it was they were throwing at us. And I'm up today with a small haul, and also from my last haul I want to show you my little kitty cat. I only did a little bit on her, but if you remember my kitty cat, that's what I've done so far. So I've done a little beaded and glittered flower and leaves because I didn't quite like the shape of her hands. If you go and look at the last haul video, you'll see the hand, and I didn't quite like that, so I've done that. And I've also decided I'm going to chain stitch through some of the green to brighten up her dress. And whether I like it or not, I don't know, you know, because sometimes you do stuff and you don't like it, but chain stitch is really easy to just cut out if you don't like it. But that's the bit that I've done so far. And I used the beads, the glitter, and I've used the felt there. And I think I'm going to use one of these flower centres and put it into this one, because it's a little bit off centre to me. So I think I might do that just to give that one up there a bit of dimension and hide the blue bit and do some beading up there as well. So that's how far I've got. And of course she's going to hang on my wall. I'm going to put a little hanger on her and some fabric behind when I'm done. Right, onto my haul. Oh, my throat. Right, so first up, some stamps. I am going to stamp these at the end. Love and Light, Merry and Bright. And if you remember in my last haul from, I think it's KLJUYP's ZF Party Store, or it's KS Craft Store, I got other small stamps that would fit onto a stamp. But I got these because I like them. And they're also small elements. You can see there's actually stamps there, and all of these little elements that layer up will fit onto those stamps. So there's quite a few bits and bobs, and we've got some numbers, so I just really like those. So we'll stamp those in a bit. But on with my dies, and I have cut this one out. This one's a surprise. This one's one of those twist around bunnies, and it comes with flowers. And I kept the little heart shapes that popped out of the ears because I really like them. I thought they'd look really prim and pretty. So this is actually an ornament or a tag, and you can see the hole there for hanging. So if I shake that bit there we go. Then I can go from the top of the ear to the bottom. Get my ruler the right way around, and it's 5 3/8 of an inch, and I just thought they'd make great tags or ornaments. And you also get a beautiful aperture when you cut the whole thing out. But this is what it looks like. So I use craft cardstock, and you just twizzle it, you just fold your bits around, but it cuts out beautifully. Oh, my camera's having a time, isn't it? So obviously, you know, you would fold it neatly. I just bent mine up. So that is my bunny rabbit. So that's something a little bit out of season. And another one that's a little bit out of season. And I got these little collection, a little umbrella, a welly gog boot and a frog for the spring. Because I just thought they'd look great in a puddle. They're just really cute. And the biggest bit there, of course, is the umbrella. And we are looking at 2.5 inches. And then 2 1/8 of an inch to the end of its handle. But I just thought that was a really sweet set. So I've got the frogs. And out of season again, I'm going to go with some trees. And I've also got some chicks. And what else have I got? Well, yeah, I've got a little tiny bunny. Look at that. It's getting close. Reaching up, he's got a little set of balloons and he's got a spring flower. I just thought that was really cute. But this is quite small, suitable for tags. and that is just under 2.5 inches. I won't bother doing the width because they're not really that huge, if you know what I mean. And then I've got some little chicks. Now, I'm not sure if I've already got this set, but I don't mind having it a second time because I really like it. So I'll go through my Easter box and see if I've got them. But obviously, you know, you can just watercolour those and then do the feet and the bodies different colours. And you've got the little eggs that they can either stand in, or you can pop one on the head. Just really cute. I must admit they don't look cute as dies, but when made up they are. And you can see the image on the site. And of course they're piggy store. They're 1 3/8 of an inch height on the biggest one. So, you know, if you've got them scattered along a card or you've got them on a tag, it's another great size. Now, next up, I've got some trees. So you kind of got winter and autumn in here. You've got your pine cones, obviously a fir tree that you can put some snow on. And this one, I think this can be spring, summer, autumn, or even winter, because you could put snow on that. In fact, when you look at it, it kind of looks weighted down by snow, doesn't it? And because you've got all these little bits that cut out, if you're doing a different colour background, you could actually pop those bits in as white. And of course that little pine bough. But the biggest one, and I don't know what kind of tree it is, but I like it. It's 4.5 inches high. And then its widest part is, I'm going to say 2.25 inches. So that's my set of trees. And then I've got fruity, because you know me and fruit. I like my fruit. So these are cut and fold, and they're strawberries. And when you cut and fold them, you've got this piece that will sit into the middle of your folds as you're building it to hold them all together. And then that's got a slit in it which will slide over the top of your stem to make your 3D strawberry. And what I love about this set is that they're size relevant, if you know what I mean, if you make them all together. So that's 1.25 inches high. Obviously it's going to be taller once you've got your stem on there. But then I've got the apple. So if you think about, you know, buying strawberries and buying apples, this is what I mean by size relevant, because these do the same thing. These are 3D again, and you've got that little element that holds all your layers in as you begin folding. So the size of the apple is doing its tallest bits, 2.25 inches, maybe a bit over. And then of course you've got to add your stem and your leaf, but you hang these as ornaments. And you can also use that oh, what's that paper called, honeycomb paper, so that you could quite literally, you know, those honeycomb ornaments, you can make your own with these. So you can certainly do that. Right, so strawberries and apples, and then here you'll see the size relevance again. That is the pear. Now put that on my hand. Yes, lovely. Going to make great ornaments. And that is just over 4 inches. And then you've got to add your piece with the leaf, which would give it some more height. So that's your pear, and then your apple for comparison, and then your little strawberry. So you can make a lovely little collection of fruits just to dangle on a branch or something like that, or make a little mobile to swing around in the breeze. Now we're getting into Christmas, yeah. So I didn't cut out my other wreaths that I got in a haul from a couple of weeks ago, but what I'm going to try and do is come back on Wednesday and cut out all of the wreaths so that you can see them. So I had to go back and get this one because this was the last in the set, and they're just a fantastic size. So I'm trying to find its widest points, and that is 4 5/8. And if I go that way, I don't know how big it's going to be. It's 5 inches. So, you know, you're going to need a 5-inch square card for that. It's got a little set of jingle bells that you can decorate all the way around, and you've also got a gorgeous little bow. So tomorrow Yeah, that's Wednesday, isn't it? Tomorrow I will come up with all the wreaths cut out. And then last but not least, I just had to get this. And this one cuts out all of the aperture, leaving the ornament hanging. So great for shaker cards. And I will cut this one tomorrow as well. This is the Christmas tree, the star and the heart. So that when you cut it into your card, all of this section will go away and you'll just be left with a hanging heart. These are such a lovely size, and they are all the same size. So those are 2 3/4 inches, and then 1 3/8 of an inch. So you can cut these into a large tag or have all three on a card if you wanted to. They're just really pretty. Or just make simple small cards and put a piece of acetate behind, and you've got a cute little shaker. Right, so if I move those over, I've got a couple of pieces of paper here, and we're going to do a little bit of stamping. Oh, and just the courtesy of telling people who keep asking about my health, what I have is not going to get any better. That's all I'm going to say. All it's going to do is just keep getting worse. But I'm taking each day as it comes. Some days, you know, I'm just really, really tired. But that's life, I'm afraid. But I do thank you for your well wishes. Right, so let's stamp a couple of these. Now, I've got black, red and green ink on the table. So let's do the frame. I really like that frame. I always think, you know, when I look at stuff like this, I wish they did dies that match them. So I've got my frame down on my block. It's getting a bit grey outside. And I think I'm going to stamp it in green. Why not? And then I'll go in with a poinsettia in the middle of it and see what that looks like. So let's just stamp that down there. We just want to know that they stamp, and it does. And isn't it weird how the crushed olive always looks more mustard? And now I need the frame for that. And I'll do that in black. And let's see if I can line my stamp up. I'm not sure if there's a top and a bottom to this stamp, but I'm thinking that this is it. And if I'm not perfectly aligned, you have to forgive me. But being a bit wibbly wobbly for me is okay. I kind of like that look. And you can see I'm definitely wibbly wobbly. I'm going to pop these back on here and then clean them in a bit. And then I've got a poinsettia, which I'm going to stamp in red. And I'm just going to pop that into the middle. Just want to know what it looks like. Oh, that's me. I don't know if I can line that up and get that bit of ink back on. No. I totally messed that up, but that was my stamping. And then we've got a centre for the flower. So I'm just looking. I think it's this one. And I think I'll use black just to highlight it. I know if you're doing it properly, it would be yellow. So I'm just looking here. I'll just pop it there. So we've got a little poinsettia and a little frame. And I do love stamps like this. And what else have I got that I can stamp? We've got mistletoe. I'm just thinking about the colours that I've got on the table. I think I'll stamp one of those little ornaments because I just think that's really cute. And I'll go with red. Of course, if you've got your daubers, you can ink up in different colours. So that's cute as well. Right, now onto my next set, which is all the stamp shapes. I think what I should do is stamp the stamps first. So I'm just pulling those off the backer. And we'll do this one first. Make sure I've got it on. Here we go. I hope everyone's going to have a wonderful day. And you should let me know down below what it is that you bought in the Black Friday sales and the Cyber Monday. I'm very nosy. I was looking for paper bargains, I have to tell you. And of course I did go shopping with Piggy again, because he's got a whole new range. He's got this huge candle die, and I had to have that. Right, so the stamp frame is lovely. And I'll do the square one as well. And that stamp's lovely. So looking for stuff that now we can just pop into those stamps just to share with you. And I'm going to go for the little Christmas tree, I think, which comes in 2 pieces. So I've got the Christmas tree bit there, and I'm going to stamp that in green. And this looks like it will fit in that rectangle stamp. So I'm just going to go there. So I've got my little tree down. And then it comes with an innie bit to do those stars. So sticking with the colours that I've got on the table. And once again, trying my best to line it up. So we've got little stars in our tree. And then the next thing I want to do is the gingerbread. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to fit into the square one. But even if it doesn't, I'm going to stamp it because I want to see it. And I do apologise for the colour, but I'm stamping my gingerbread in black. So let's just pop him there. And he's just really cute. And then into that square one, I think I'm going to use the mug. We've got a little Christmas cup. And I'll just do that in red. But these are really lovely thick stamps. They feel almost like photopolymer. So I'm going to go there. So I've got a little Christmas cup. So those are my stamps that I'm sharing with you. Right, that is what I have for you today. I've got to go and scrub all these now. And I will be up tomorrow with those cuts from the wreaths and those little frames here that I just shared with you. And I do thank you so much for joining me. I thank you so much for having the patience when, you know, sometimes I say I'm going to be here and I'm not here. But my leukemia and my anemia is just, you know, on top of everything else that happened. I can't wait for this year to be finished. It just really drains me sometimes, but I love crafting, so I refuse to give up. Right, thank you once again for joining me. I do hope you have a wonderful day, and as usual, all links below. Bye.